One. Oh my god, Nathaniel's camera isn't working. What is up, party people? Welcome to our stream. We are lagging on a camera here. This is Downtime Encounters. We are on, what episode is this? 9 million.
Yes. You had one job today.
I did have one job today, and I'm not even doing a good job. I don't remember what episode number this is. I'll figure it out later, but I think it's 9.
It's 8 or 9.
I'll figure it out when I post it.
I'll check.
Okay. Anyways, welcome to our stream. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to stop floundering here and pass things off to our DM, who is checking what episode number we're on, and he still doesn't have a camera.
Killing it.
I'm here.
He's here. I don't know why your camera isn't working. Oh my
8.
god. It's episode number 8.
Right.
I fixed Nathaniel's camera, and now Taylor has left the chat.
I'm still here.
I know.
Well, while that's going on, we'll see who's going to be up for a recap here. And
Everyone's face is on the screen now.
Woo!
Yay.
it's Madison.
Thank God
I
it's
knew
not
it was
me.
gonna be me. Frick. I don't want it to be me. Let me check my notes.
I'm ready. I'm ready and willing. If you want to pass the torch to me.
No, I've got it. So we started last time talking to Sirius at the top of this tower. Or Sirius. We're not in Harry Potter. Sirius. We learned that, he got frozen because Zeguldas came along and was like, ha ha ha, and froze him by fucking up his experiment. Sorry, Avery. We got, a bunch of lore and question answers, but also no question answers. Gosh, we know the Celestial Plane, which was weird and frozen in time, wasn't like that a couple months ago, but it is now. Maybe that coincides with when we found Lionrith. I don't know. Speaking of Lionrith, he's weird and magical. Huh. Yeah. We got, a bunch of magic lore that I'm not going to regurgitate here, because that was a lot. Just go watch the other video. Sirius knows Albella. Suspicious. That's sus. And... yeah. Oh, Warfrat gave Sirius a Druid book, temporarily on loan, which was cool and interesting. And then Fern got frozen in time, because don't eat faith fruit, guys. So I don't have a character right now. Yeah.
Wonderful review there. So, additional things kind of add there. Basically, Sirius Deacon got out of a portion of magic that had frozen him in time, which was caused by Zeguldas, a satyr wizard of some kind.
Who's evil?
With him freed, he was assisting the party in some questions that they had going into how magic functioned and the kind of who and what Lionrith is. Theories and ideas were presented, and then eventually came to Fern had eaten a forbidden fruit, which caused her to basically be unable to eat normal food. To temporarily resolve it.
They really should put a sign up or something. Just saying.
Or you shouldn't eat fruit you don't know about.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah, just
I don't think you're living right now.
exciting fruit that's glowy and magical. Yeah, no ill effects, right? So, she's now frozen within the tower temporarily until they can come up with a solution for that. And that's where we'll kind of leave off. That's where we ended up at. He can kind of lead everyone to the main kind of portal room that you guys have been at prior. And he makes the announcement of, well, I certainly think that will suffice for, at least for now. I believe that we need to come up with a idea of possibly refilling the metaphorical bucket of magic for Lionrith. And I recommended that at least you go to one of the Druid Circles nearby here. If you have time or would like to. I know you are relatively busy, but that's what I would recommend that you do. And we can get some clear answers on a few different things, most likely.
I'm going to lean over to Lionrith and go, why do the druids draw circles anyways? I never understood that.
I mean, I don't... They have circles? Like, Gorfrak's not a drawer.
I know, I don't understand that. Hey,
hear-
Gorfrak, how many times a day do you have to draw a circle to be a druid circle?
What?
He said we have to go to your circles. How many times a day do you draw them?
It's not a circle in the sense of like a circle on a piece of paper or even like the teleportation circle we used in Gloom Portal. Druid circles are gatherings of druids who all focus on the same kind of magic. So for example, I'm a druid of the Circle of the Coast because I have a lot of experience with sea creatures and the ocean and things like that. There are circles of the land, there are circles of the forest, there are circles of all the different areas of nature magic because nature is so wide. And so it's less a shape and more of a way we organize ourselves.
That was a really long way to say that a circle is just a monastery.
If that's the word, well, if it's not a physical building, it's just a place.
It's just a circle you drew in the ground. I got it. Now, how do we get to one of them?
It's useless to explain magic to Let, any form of magic or anything related.
Well, I do happen to know a few that are nearby. There is one to the north of here, within the forest. It's not too far of a journey, maybe a day's journey from here. There is one to the southeast a bit. It's in the plains to the south of here. It'll take some time, but that's also another one that you can go to as well. But those are the ones I know of nearby. My magic is mostly exhausted from being frozen for some time, so I will be staying here. And it's also giving me some time to review the book that Gorfrak has lended to me. Yes?
I have a question about your stomach and its present state after being frozen.
Yes.
Is it empty or is it full?
It hasn't changed.
Okay, so I don't need to bring Fern a snack when I come back to get her.
No.
All right, well, I'm going to anyways.
She won't be able to eat it.
Can't eat it.
Who am I going to share my candies with, guys?
I'm sure Lionrith will take some.
Yeah, Lionrith raises a paw up.
Well, before we go, I'm very interested in learning more about Dunamancy.
Oh, certainly. Why don't you head out for a few days? I can start gathering some supplies and materials together. I don't have a particularly good list and set of resources for you to use at the moment, but I can write some stuff up and provide them to you.
Sure, anything that you know will be beneficial.
Of course, and it's certainly nice to have someone who else is interested in it. I haven't begun teaching it at a wide level yet, and it would be certainly good to have another student of it.
Well, it's a completely new subsect of magic. It's very fascinating.
It certainly is. Well, is there anything else I can do for any of you?
Can you maybe give us, do you know specifics about where the Druid Circle is in Maple Grove Forest?
Honestly, it's very well known within the town. I believe there's a small road that leads to it.
Oh, Okay. Thank you.
Do you have any good books you'd let me borrow? I can't
It
promise to
depends.
return
What do
them.
you wanting to read?
Whatever you're willing to give me.
So he fumbles through his
If it's an autobiography, I will say no thank you.
no, he provides you with a book that seems to be relatively similar to what he's kind of been talking about, called the Arcane Spectrum, written by him, and he hands it to you.
Thank you. I look forward to reading it.
Sylvia will be borrowing that.
Sylvia will not touch the book without asking.
I heard ghosts.
I have manners, so I don't think you have to worry about that.
Very good. Then we won't have an issue. All right, so where are we going anyways?
Back to
North.
Maple Grove.
We're going to Maple Grove? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you gather your things and you depart the tower.
Oh, before we go, I want to ask him how we can re-enter without being mauled by a plant.
There's a plant outside?
Yes, when I knocked on the door, this massive plant creature practically mauled me.
Oh,
It came out of the lake.
That doesn't belong to me. Let me see. And then he heads upstairs. He grabs a few things and follows you out. Proceeds to see the creature that you're referring to, as it's relatively close to the door. And he's like, oh, this won't do. And he basically, for the sake of ease here, he basically participates in combat. But doesn't have any issues against it, really, casting extremely high levels of magic. Whether that be a ray of green energy that is almost trying to disintegrate it, to putting it aflame as well. And within quick work, it's completely destroyed. And he says, well, shouldn't have any issues now.
Thank you.
Who would have put it there?
It's sometimes native to this region. It usually doesn't come this close to the tower, but I would be wary of exploring the lake further.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Well, I will be waiting for you here.
Thank you, Cirrus. Sorry that you had to raise our friend.
It's completely fine. I'll see you soon then.
To you it is, tear flick.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you want to head there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you head north.
Is Maple Grove a big enough town to get some kind of, like, would they have a cleric that could heal our party members who have a lowered HP max because of the golem fight?
So for one, if you go to a Druid Circle, that will restore it. And two, D&D Beyond proceeded to erase that. So, fully level up. As such, it's not there, but
No,
I
I'm
think you guys
still
will
only
resolve
at
it really quick.
43 out of 50.
Huh?
I'm still only at 43 out of 50 HP.
So it's the max HP reduction, not the healing.
Yeah.
So it didn't heal you.
No, I didn't get hit. Oh, you're saying, gotcha. The max HP.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that I think that damage was specifically from the vine monster.
Yeah.
I think it was left over at some point. Anyway,
Thank you, D&D Beyond.
they're saving players 1 HP at a time. As you head to the Maple Grove, and there is kind of like a palisade wall. I'm assuming you head in.
Sure.
Okay. The guards don't stop you at all that are there. They're just two posted. They wave you in. Pretty casual. And it's a moderately bustling town. A lot of different arrays of people and things going on. It seems to be centered around a large maple tree in the center of town. And
You don't say.
I know, it's as if they are very relevant to the nearby area. And yeah, that's nothing too unusual. Yes.
Can I lick the tree?
Yes, if you would like to.
Is it gonna kill me though?
Up to you.
Is this shit Fae? Is this gonna kill me?
Why don't you roll a nature or arcana check on the tree?
Oh my gosh.
I'll help.
Okay.
Cool.
You get advantage.
Gorfrat could probably just tell you.
Roll one more time. Double 13s. Looking cool. It looks like a normal tree.
I want to go lick it.
Just very large and unusually large.
I want to go lick it.
You lick it?
Does it taste like
tastes
maple?
Like bark.
It tastes like bark?
Yeah, because it's a tree.
Because you have to like drill into the tree to siphon the maple out of it.
Correct.
Nobody told me that. You called it a maple
common
tree.
knowledge.
That's not common knowledge in the mountains.
I'm sorry that because it's a tree. Was just
What is common knowledge in the mountains exactly? Because it doesn't seem like it's much.
Eat your vegetables. Don't walk too fast downhill. That's how we lost a few kids.
How many?
If you don't walk slow down the mountains, you don't come back up down the mountains. And we also learned that you guys are making me laugh and I can't come up with the third thing
Back in
now.
my day, we had to walk uphill
hold it in.
both ways to get to the monastery.
Yeah, we did. And we also learned that if a bird is flying above you, don't stare at it from directly underneath or it might poop on you.
Or open
I
your
thought
mouth.
there were no birds in the mountains.
When you're down below the mountains, there are. That's why they are valuable currency. But when you're in the mountains, you don't see birds.
Nice redirect.
So you roll the perception, Gorfrak. Is there anything you wanted to perceive?
Yeah, so you said we're kind of in this bustling city center. Are there like merchants and things around?
Yeah.
Are any of them appearing to be more nature folk / druids?
No. Honestly, very generic. Relating ones. I will give you that the church that's nearby is that of nature, so that's Dramira.
Ooh. Ooh. It's still a church of creation. It's not a druid church.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Is there any kind of like? Are there any guards in the city center?
Yeah. Just local guards, just patrolling.
Okay. I'd like to walk up to one and ask them if they could point us in the direction of the road, the supposed path to the Druid Circle.
Oh, that old hiking trail? Yeah, just head north and there'll be a gate there. Relatively smaller compared to the other ones, but just head out there, let them know they're going to be on the trail, and good luck out there.
Who are we letting know we're on the trail?
Say it again?
You said let them know you're going to be on the trail. Who are we letting them know?
Oh, he just he replies with it. Just there's some guards there that'll just let you back in.
Oh, cool.
And at the same time, if you're gone for too long, we might come looking for you.
Well, I appreciate that, but I think we can take care of ourselves.
Awesome. It seems like you have a pretty well equipped team here, so
Yeah.
I would
Thank
imagine
you.
so.
Have a nice day. Keep up the beautiful tree you have here. I like that.
Thank you.
It doesn't taste as good as it sounds, though.
But
Okay.
look how big it is. I mean, they've obviously been taking care of this tree for generations.
Maybe they should coat it with candy.
That would hurt the
Let,
tree.
if you drill into the tree, then you can get the tasty maple.
Where is a drill? Who has a drill? I need to taste it, and no one has a drill, and I'm never gonna know what it tastes like.
You've never tasted maple syrup before?
What's syrup?
I'm sure we can procure some since we're in Maple Grove.
Maybe
Lead the
we
way,
don't-
lady.
Maybe we don't drill into the
Agreed.
tree that seems to hold this city together. Maybe we drill into a minor tree in the forest instead.
Or we just go buy some. I'm sure it's abundant.
Well, I could probably pull some sap out with my magic, and we wouldn't even have to drill into the tree. So let's.
That works too,
That-
but we're not
that-
drilling into this
that-
tree.
That. I want that to happen.
All right, let's depart this. After I just
Before that gets any crazy ideas.
after I just said in front of the guard, I think we can take care of ourselves, and now we're over here fighting about maple syrup.
It's because we have a child.
All right,
What else would we be fighting about?
If Fern was here, she'd agree with me.
onward to the forest.
I like how Madison is like pseudo Fern's ghost right now, and every time I make a Fern comment, she's over here like giving, yes, Fern would agree.
So you guys just head right up to the trail?
I'm good to go unless anybody wants to stop. I imagine there's a generally better than good store here if anybody wants to shop.
We can move
Or candy
along.
let.
No, I have enough now that Fern's not reaching in my pockets and stealing it all the time.
Okay. You guys head along the trail. Well, head up the road first, and then you reach the gate. There are a few extra guards, the ones at the main ones, but mostly two of them look like to be more running the gate, and then the other one just seemed to be kind of like almost like forest patrol guys, like rangers of some type. And the woman elf proceeds to come up and be like, all right, how many of you are going to be going up the trail today?
It'll be the four of us.
Elbella too? Isn't Elbella?
Elabella and
Ajar.
Jar.
Urjar.
It'll be
are
the
also with
6 of us, actually.
It's a nice try to leaving them
And
behind, though.
Linerith. Linerith.
7 of us.
Gorfrat can do math.
Yeah,
No, I don't know math. I just know plants.
we see her as she's like writing out like a number, and she crosses this out like twice, and then writes out 7, and she asks, so what are your names? And then she starts writing some additional stuff before you even say anything.
Do I have to give her my real name?
I tell
I'm
her
Sylvia Amir.
If you go missing, that you probably want them to have your real name.
Okay.
that is Nanya.
Okay.
I am Sylvia Amir.
I'm Let, no last name.
I give her my name, Gorfrak.
Okay. Everyone else does the same, but you do get let no name at the end. And but you don't know that, of course. But we see that as she writes it out
Of course.
and folds it up and kind of puts it in her pouch, and then says, "Well, it should be a good day to head up that way. I would recommend that you stay on the trail. There have been sightings of vine creatures and ents roaming this forest. They've been somewhat aggressive of late, so stay on the trail and you should be relatively safe."
Question.
Yes.
This trail, is it like, well, it's 2-part. If we step like 1 foot off the trail, are we going to get eaten?
No. I don't want you. Don't be that worried. Just stay relatively close on it. At the end of it, one of the local Druid Circles is there, and I do believe Miss Autumn Kettle will greet you when you arrive. If you
How
tend to go that far in.
How wide is this trail? We talking road or we talking single file?
In parts it can be single file, but it should be able to hold all of you relatively comfortably.
Very good.
It's not traveled as frequently nowadays, but you should be fine, with at least looking at the rest of this group.
Is there a specific reason it's not traveled frequently, or is it just because of the man-killing whatever that are out there?
Yes,
People
it's
killing.
more of the
Sorry,
man-killing
people
creatures and things.
Is she trying to kill us?
Me?
No, this lady. I'm immediately suspicious of every female character he writes now because they're always trying to kill us.
No, she's
All
just
of
trying to
them?
do her job. This is literally just the druids like to keep their distance from people, and so they're not really interested in getting rid of the vines in the forest because it helps keep people away from them.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna thank her for the advice, and then Gorfrak is just with her little walking stick is gonna go. I'm a
Let's
grandma
go,
on a
people.
mission.
All right. Who is going to be leading?
I'll lead us since this is kind of my.
I will follow
Wait.
directly behind.
I was also gonna follow close behind.
Yeah, I figured you are. I just want to know who should be rolling survival.
Bitch.
Can I roll nature instead of survival?
This is survival.
Okay.
This
Is
isn't
anybody
hard
helping
knowledge.
me?
This is interpreting the world around you.
I have a +4 in survival.
I have a +5 in survival.
Okay, good. You should be
Oh,
in
you're doing
front.
great.
I can help.
Is anybody-
I want to help.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do I actually
down.
need to do anything? I can't remember.
Oh, yep, you're good. You got so you got 23. You have no issues interpreting this trail. It's not relatively difficult anyway. It has lots of different signs and things, and some of them are a little bit overgrown and hard to find, but you spot them pretty easily. And you make your way down the trail for a long time, and you don't really encounter anything. It's relatively peace and quiet. And I would say it's starting to get a little dark when you arrive. And you do arrive to this Druid Circle of these standing stones that are reminiscent of all of them that you've seen up to this point. There is a small little like setup that's there that seems to be a small like house or hovel that a halfling woman
A little
is
halfling
attending.
autumn kettle. This is the cutest person I've ever seen.
Yeah, making sure that's right. Yes, she's a halfling. And she has her blonde hair, and she just kind of like comes up to you when you arrive and says, "Oh my, I didn't think I would have any guests today."
Great to see you.
I greet her in Druidic and say, hopefully Gaia smiles on you, sister.
And may Gaia smile on you as well in Druidic.
Let from the back is gonna go, and also with you. I heard someone say that once.
Do you speak Druidic?
No, I just
Then you don't-
assumed that's what they're doing. One spoke and then the other spoke, and they were being cordial, so I assumed
Yeah,
this
she did
happened.
wave, so
She did wave.
And also with you. That's usually at the end of the conversation, though, Lat.
All right.
It's go with
The
Gaia.
conversation can be over.
Not yet
well,
here. We
what
need-
brings you all the way out here? It is certainly getting late. Normally people do this in the morning.
Well, I recognize that. To be honest, it's been a while since I've visited a circle, and we've had a lot of developments with some of our adventures that I think some druid connection with Gaia would help with. Can we maybe camp here for the night, and like you said, we'll commune in the morning and speak more then?
Yes, you're free to do so. There is a site that is free for you to use. And she gestures over to a clearing that is relatively well kept, and says, "You are free to use it however you'd like, and I will be here if you need anything."
Is this
While
just
the
a
rest
site
of-
to like place a tent, or is there like a enclosure or anything?
It's just a large open space that you can put a tent down.
Okay.
While they start setting up camp, I want to follow Autumn and like talk to her for a moment.
Okay. Yeah. I'll let everyone kind of start setting up their tents and things relative to what they're doing. What you would like to ask her?
I'm having this conversation with her in Druidic. Sorry to be so mysterious with first impressions. We have two traveling with us who aren't quite in my good graces yet. I kind of look over my shoulder towards Elabella and Urjar's tent. And I tell her just basically who they are. You know, she's a supposed archaeologist, and they're traveling with us. But I would be careful what secrets we share. We don't know her intentions at this time. So, just us druids pride ourselves on our secret keeping and our knowledge base, and I don't want that falling into hands that can use it against nature.
Oh, don't worry. There's nothing too hidden here that we need to keep an eye on and protect. If anything, I would be more concerned about the tree in town, which I do maintain.
Oh, mind sharing about it?
Yes, it is a magical tree, and it has been there for a long time. It does have some rejuvenation. I can't talk. It has healing properties.
Rejuvenative?
Yeah, rejuvenative properties. It has been doing well as late, but it is. I've been doing my best. But as long as you are not doing anything weird with it, I think it'll be fine.
What kind of rejuvenating properties?
It just helps cure diseases, things, just general ailments.
Awesome. It's great that you do that for the local town. I mean, I know traditionally us druids keep to ourselves, but it's great seeing you being a good representative of our faith to the common folk.
I certainly try, and we've always had a good relation with one another. I don't see why to ruin that in this day and age. We should talk about something more lively and fun. Is there anything that I can do to help you out here? Like I said, many people don't usually take the journey to stay, and what brings you out here?
Well, has word about what happened in Lux reached you yet?
Oh, I was there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't see you. I was at the Grove a couple times.
Yes, there's a lot of people there. I was there for a few days. I did miss the terrible things that did happen, but I was there briefly. It's only a few days journey, so there was not to attend.
You heard that Valdara was released and that she's now roaming the ethos.
Yes.
Well, without leaving you spiraling right before bed, we have a dragon compatriot, and I kind of look over at Lionrith, traveling with us, who we've found through some experiments over the past couple of days may be connected with the ethereal plane. and may have something to do with Eldara, Ethios, things like that. And so we spoke to Cirrus Deacon. I don't know if you're familiar with Cirrus. I mean, I know he's pretty well known in this area. And he recommended that since, I'm connected with the druids, like all are, that we come to the circle and see if the magic here can shed any light on things that traditional study has not.
I've talked with him a few times. We've had our disagreements, but I can certainly help. I'm not sure what I can do, but
are we sure that Lionrith hasn't? I know I'm not in this conversation. I just have to ask: are we sure Lionrith has enough brain cells to disagree with anyone?
Lionrith is not disagreeing with anyone. Cirrus Deacon is disagreeing.
I thought she was talking about Lionrith, and
yes.
Hey, Brosif, I think you've dropped knowledge of your own character there, but I've just dropped knowledge of what's happening.
Yeah, they have not met. Lionrith and Miss.
I'm following now.
Have not met.
Disagreements with Cirrus Deacon. Can I ask more? Does he seem nothing but sympathetic to the druids? I mean, he sees nature magic as critical to all magic, and I mean, he was recognizing the same patterns I have with the druids kind of losing a lot of ground across the continent.
Yes, it's more of a philosophy thing. He's an academic, and I more appreciate a more practical hand in things, and he just doesn't treat things with the same respect as maybe I would. And as such, we have our disagreements, but they are small. I wouldn't worry too much.
I can see that. He was very, I consider myself to be well studied, but when I was listening to him talk about sources of magic and things like that, I even found myself out of my depth.
Yes, he's a very intelligent man. Just a little bit different than I'm used to.
Fair enough. Well, we appreciate your hospitality. We'll talk more in the morning.
Of course. And she gets back to what she's doing. Anything else anyone would like to do?
What are we doing?
Investigate Bella Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, what are we doing? Are we just setting up camp? I already forgot. I lost track of what was happening in that conversation, if you didn't notice.
Yeah, you guys set up camp while she was talking with Gorfrak.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably being really sussed out by Elbella. That's probably all I'm doing.
Okay.
Sylvia, you should try to be friends with her to get more information. She cold-shouldered me.
It's not like she's been that friendly with me either.
Well, time heals all wounds. And it's been a day.
If not, we can move to the next day.
Well, I at least want to take some time to who has the bag of holding now? I know we took it from Fern. I don't know who has it.
I think I have it. That's dangerous as heck.
Well, you were like guffawing over it when we were passing out her stuff after the session last time.
That's true.
There's a lobster inside it, in case you're wondering.
There's a lobster inside.
I am not going to use that responsibly. I am absolutely not going to use that responsibly.
Well,
It's very dead.
Still.
I would like to take temporarily take the bag of holding from Let and look at Regulus's things again to see if there's anything that we missed the first time.
You are going to have to catch these now toasty hot hands.
I would love to see that.
Hey, Let, can I borrow the bag of holding?
Absolutely not. Why do you want it?
I just need to get something out of it.
Absolutely not. Why do you want it? I'll give it to you. What do you want? What do you want? I'll give it to you.
Just let me reach in and grab it, and you'll have
No.
it right back.
No. It's mine now.
Look.
Fern let me have it. She wasn't your best friend. You can't have the bag.
I just want to look through Regulus's things again to see if there was something we missed the first time.
Are you really
Is that
jonesing
objectionable?
It is. Are you actually genuinely jonesing for a croissant? Because Fern put a lot in here, which is ironic since she couldn't eat them.
That was a
Are they
recent
even
development, though, before all the food, or after all the food was stored.
Are they moldy? Super moldy now, though?
I don't know. They look fine to me.
Famous last words.
I know how old those are, though. They can't be good.
I didn't say I was going to eat them. I just said I was keeping them. What do you want out of the bag?
You could
I
use them as
just told
projectiles.
you.
You can have the bag for 2 minutes supervised.
What do you think I'm gonna do with it?
You're going to take it and run off, and it's my favorite bag.
She's part of our group. Where do you think she'd run to?
I don't know.
Also, I have more valuable things than a bag of holding.
Okay, Miss Rich and Snooty over here. Just because you have more birds than I do.
We have acquired things during our time together that are more valuable than a bag of holding. I'm not gonna take it and run like it's some buried treasure that's super rare.
Nothing is more valuable than the things that Fern left behind. You wash your mouth out. That was a false statement.
Okay. What is in the
I don't have
bag
time for
that is so
this.
important to you? Let.
What's in the bag? It's not what's
That's
in
so
the bag.
important
It
to
is
you.
the bag. It is the bag.
So why does it matter if she takes what's inside the bag if it's just the bag
I
itself?
told her
that's
she can have
important?
2 minutes supervised to get things out of it, and then just to give the bag back.
Just give it to me.
If you run off with this bag,
What
I'm
are you
gonna-
gonna do? Chase me down with your fire hands?
I completely, my brain went. You probably. I was going to make a rude joke about your sister, but I've decided that since you've become even colder in the wake of death and loss, that you can have the bag for 2 minutes and then you have to give it back because you're being mean.
We don't talk about Bruno / Aerith.
So
I'm going to give it
Thank
to
you.
her
Was that so
very-
difficult?
very hesitantly, and I'm going to keep a really close eye on her. Like SpongeBob theatrical eye comes out and makes contact with body level of keeping an eye on her.
horrifying. Thank you for that image. So to be clear, you're not worried about what's inside the bag. You are worried about the bag itself.
If it was Fern's, don't take it out.
So
Let, why do you think I'm not going to be respectful? I'm not going to run off with it. When have I ever displayed that kind of behavior?
I don't know. You're just suspicious.
What's being a protector of Fern? It's cute.
So
Well,
you do get your stuff out of the bag.
Good grief.
So if you remember, there are 3 sets of letter correspondence, A, B, and C. There's a box of trinkets, a journal, a sort of clothes, and some books.
I know one of the letters we couldn't decipher last time. I cannot remember which one.
I don't remember either which one that you.
My notes have things. Hold on.
Yeah, if you can check quick. I think it was B
Yeah, I was gonna
that
say,
you
I
didn't
might-
get everything.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think.
letter B, disjointed,
Okay.
hard to read.
Okay, I want to look at B again then.
Okay,
It's
roll
a code that
investigation.
will take time to decipher.
Yeah. So yeah, you would actually need to do a intelligence check. So just plain, just roll intelligence.
Not bad.
Yeah, so you spend some time working on it. You definitely make progress. This is a code that is very complex and difficult to go through. You definitely think you're going to need some more time with this. For the sake of your notes and whatnot, you did get a success.
Okay,
It has
and
been noted.
do I need a certain number of successes to crack the code?
Yes.
I'm assuming. Okay.
This is representative of how many days in time. So you did great, but this is very complex.
We need 3 successes. We have 1.
Okay, I will
At least
keep.
according to my earlier notes.
I will keep the letter, but return everything else to the bag of holding and
Okay.
hand it back to Let.
Do note that for both of your inventories.
What am I noting?
It does not have letter correspondence B with Regulus's things.
Okay.
I have it because I don't want to go through the whole rigmarole of getting the stuff from you if you're going to be that obtuse about it.
No, that's completely understandable.
Anything else you guys will do for tonight?
I would like to open my book I got from Sarah Deacon and start perusing.
Yeah.
Nice.
It goes into detail a lot of what he kind of discussed with you today, but it gives you a lot more detail. There is a lot on how magic functions, a lot of intricacies, examples. It is a very high-level academic book, but it is a good introductory into explaining how it works. So you can refer to it any time when you're kind of needing some magical advice.
I do have. Oh, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt that.
That's it. That's all I got.
I have a question. If I were to attune to the aspect of intelligence just while we had it, would that be a terrible, terrible idea?
I can't say.
Oh, gosh. Sylvia is conflicted.
It sounds like one of those, from what Nathaniel has disclosed, it sounds like something that you do and cannot be undone until... I think the only reason Cirrus was able to give it to us that quickly is because it wasn't attuned to him. It was attuned to a device. I think if you attune to it, I don't know if we can unattune to it easily without, fighting you or beating you in a game of skill or something like that. Because remember, Madison's giving me this face like, what the hell are you talking about, Taylor? If you remember, in the lore, he talked about how, the aspect of strength only passes to somebody else if they beat that person who's got the aspect of strength. The aspect of charisma jumps from actor to actor because of their ability. And so I would be concerned that, maybe it may not be a bad thing, but there may be some challenges down the road that we would need to weigh against the benefits of now. So I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying let's think logically about it.
That's
So maybe-
fair. And I
maybe
guess he
we'll-
hasn't specified if the way it's passed, minus the whole actor guild competing, has been via killing the current person that is attuned to it, so...
Yeah. Maybe we ask him when we go talk to him after we finish with the druids, because it sounds like we're going to talk to the druids and go right back. Speaking of the aspect of intelligence, I would like to have a conversation with Sylvia that is very short.
Go for it. You're working on your code while you ask her.
What language are we speaking in?
We're just common, but I want to whisper and pull her into the tent. Do you still have the aspect of intelligence? Have you checked on it recently?
I can check right now. I'm assuming I'm gonna check my inventory. I still have it.
Okay. I don't know if this is just my staunchness getting in the way. I'm worried about Bella and the fact that we still don't have a pulse on her yet. And so I don't know if you could hide it or conceal it magically. Or I don't know if maybe we want to take turns, holding it during watch, or if we want to go bury it in the forest and go get it in the morning just in case. But I don't know. We still don't know her, and I just...
I will I will butt in just to say that it is wrapped in a blinding cloth, so it cannot be detected magically by anything.
Right.
And so I don't know if maybe we want to pass it secretly from person to person, so Urjar and her don't know who has it at any given time. Maybe you want to put it under your pillow so that if anybody tries to grab it, you can feel them.
I was gonna say, since I think I'm the most logical choice since I don't sleep.
That's fair. I mean, I'm not. You do what you think is best. I want us to proceed with caution, and I don't want.
Oh, I agree.
It sounds like it's gonna be. I don't want to say the word that's in my head because I don't want to use a curse word. But it sounds like it's going to be quite long before we get all 6 of these aspects, and I don't want to lose one and have to fight her for it.
I agree with that.
All right.
But I think the best course is at least for now, for me to hold on to the aspect.
Oh, I agree.
I think caution is definitely crucial here.
Perfect, sis.
Okay. Anything else?
Night.
Okay. Everyone, do take a long rest.
Dude.
And we will head to break. And we'll be back real quick.
What's up, folks? We are back from break. We're gonna play the second half of this stream.
Yeah. You guys are back up in the morning. No issues. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna promptly check my inventory to make sure I still have the aspect.
And I'm also gonna make sure that I still have the bag of holding.
You have both of those objects.
I'm not gonna steal it.
I'd like
I'm
to
not
toss
only
in
worried
that I
about
misheard you.
Wait,
I misheard issues and I heard no shoes and I was like, why did we all wake up with no shoes?
can I get up like 10 minutes before everybody else?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, can I use Druidcraft to go get some syrup out of a tree? I want to put it on Let's head before they wake up.
On their head.
Okay. Why don't you roll a spell attack? Roll
Okay.
just to see how good you are at doing it.
No, it didn't.
What's going on my head?
Syrup that you asked for.
Oh my gosh, I hope so.
Darn, that sucks.
It's not bad. You're not used to doing something like this, pulling a life force out of a tree, but
Wait, syrup is life force?
yeah, it's the sap.
Is she allowed to do that?
What do you think syrup was made of?
Syrup is just the sugary glucose syrup that, like, when they transfer water up and down the tree, right? It's not the cells
Yeah,
themselves.
when you stab into something, liquid comes out.
Well, no, that's just some common sense from the mountains, if you ask me.
Drag them.
Oh,
Okay.
That's my new motto. When you stab something, comes out.
so when you have that, it is a life force, but it's not that much of an issue. You're able to collect some, and for this, you will have to do at least a stealth check on Let. Let, you'll need to roll a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Me with my +0 dex.
And me with my +4 perception.
You're doing great. You can't fail this.
Nat 1.
Even with a nat 1, it would be a 5. So yeah, you approach, you step on a rock, you make a little bit of a alarming sound. Let you hear it. Gorfrak has some syrup of some sort.
Okay, but would they actually know what it is because they've never seen syrup before, clearly?
This golden liquid.
I'm gonna immediately clutch the bag of holding with all of my limbs and go, what is that? What do you have? What is that? Literally just like a bear hugging the bag.
Gorfrak is just
That's
holding
most prized possession.
Gorfrak is just holding this undulating ball of syrup, like with shape water. Remember that syrup you were talking about yesterday?
It comes out as a circle. Is this one of the circles that you draw?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'd also like to toss in a technicality. Syrup is clear when it comes out of the tree. It turns brown when you boil it.
I'm crying. Why do you know that? Why do you know that, Faith?
I don't know. It's just one of the things I know.
Normalize. Anyway, so I've got this orb of syrup. No, it's not one of the Druid Circles. I don't even know how to explain how wrong that is.
What is that then? Identify yourself immediately.
Let never was this suspicious until after Lux.
What, like, tell me about your tent right now. What's in your tent?
It's complex PTSD and also my bag.
Anything else?
My bald head. Why? Why do you need to know what's in my tent?
I'm trying to figure out where I want to put the syrup because I'm going to throw it on you, I think.
That syrup?
Yes.
You can put it directly into my mouth.
How big is the sphere that you've created?
Probably like softball size.
Love it.
Please just throw it straight into Let's mouth.
I say, wait, pause. Let's prank Sylvia. Open the bag of holding.
What are we gonna do with it?
We're gonna put the ball of syrup in the bag of holding, so next time she reaches in there, she gets syrup on her.
Don't I have to know it's there in order to retrieve it? Isn't that how the bag works?
Also,
Well,
I've already poured a glass of fancy drink in there without a cup holding it. It's just free falling liquid in there. So if she's gonna run into anything, that's gonna be funnier.
Wait, the liquid or the syrup? Or both?
The liquid.
Okay.
I wouldn't eat the syrup.
Well, you can have some, and then we can put. I don't think you want all of this. It's very sweet.
Okay, give me half and put the other half in the bag.
Okay. That's
Someday this bag is going to get turned inside out, and chaos is going to ensue.
To be run through the magical
You can
washing
turn
machine.
it inside out?
That's how you get things out if you don't know what's in there.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or we could end the game by putting one bag of holding into another.
That will just destroy both bags of holding.
Possibly tear open a hole in reality, but
I think there's a ghost giving us ghostly wisdom.
Fern wasn't wise. That's how she ended up in the position she's in.
So I've got this ball of syrup. I go ahead and give Let half, and then I put the rest of it like in the bag of holding, and I say in honor of Fern.
Immediately, Led is gonna shove Gorfrak away from the tent and close the door, and you're just gonna hear quiet little like sad noises from the tent, and just a quiet little in honor of Fern.
Okay, Let is taking Fern's absence harder than we realized.
She was Let's best friend.
For a they them, Let is acting quite toxically masculine in this moment, not sharing their emotions with their friends.
Absolutely. Monks are not supposed to show their emotions. They're only supposed to kick ass.
oh,
right.
Is gonna do anything?
Let's move along.
Let's find Autumn and learn
It's
about
right in front of you.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what's in front of us?
the Druid Circle. It's just standing stones.
I don't
This
see
is
a
the thing
circle.
that will heal me. Yes.
Correct.
Gorfrak, can I
Yes.
just walk inside, or is there some mystical mumbo jumbo that needs to get done for me to return to normal?
Is that what you think magic is?
Wait, why are you?
You don't want me to
returning
answer that.
Pretty much, yep.
Why are you returning to normal? Because you got hit? Oh, that's okay.
Yes.
Well, traditionally these standing stones act as kind of a megaphone for us druids to kind of, it's called whispering. It's not actually whispering. It's basically tapping into the collective knowledge of all druids. And through that connection to the magic and the knowledge, it heals, it informs, and it allows us to communicate with each other across large spanses.
Is that
So-
how you got that syrup?
Yes.
Yes, Let, that's how I got the syrup.
That's pretty cool.
I'll be honest, this is not something that we usually share with outsiders. And so, I guess go ahead and join me and Autumn in the circle, and we'll start the process.
I will owe you one for life. Whatever you need, just ask. Within reason. And please don't
I
kill me
already
in the
took you
process.
home. I already took you to my family. I think I'm good.
What?
I already introduced you all to my family. I think I'm covered.
All right.
I follow into the circle.
Do what you need to do.
Yes. I don't know what's going on here.
I'm looking for
taking it
actions.
all in.
Not words.
Do I need to cast a spell or make a check to kind of start the process?
Not really. It's something that is like a passive effect that the circle has. And it usually just can be activated through whoever is the like resider of the circle. So you wouldn't be able to specifically activate it because this isn't your circle. But Autumn could.
Okay. Autumn, can you, before we start, trying to find answers to our questions, can you heal some of us with the circle's energy? A couple of us had to fight one of Sirius's wonderful inventions, his clay golem, and we're a little bit worse for the wear.
Please, and thank you.
Yeah, follow me in. And she just walked into the circle, and it kind of activates slightly. So you can see a lot of the runes kind of glow a little bit, and she just gestures for you to come in.
I follow her. I'm cautious, but I follow her.
Yeah, as you enter in, energy begins to radiate into almost immediately. And it kind of is like this warm, fuzzy feeling. And eventually it kind of fades. And you get your health reduction is gone.
Last night.
So you're good to go, as well as any other diseases and things like that.
Also, as a side note,
from my memory.
Sorry.
If you ask your question first, or do your side note first.
What would
I
have
say
happened
gives me the
if we
warms
would have
and
put a
fuzzies
rock
all
in
the
there?
time, and I like it.
Whoa.
Faith was happy. Faith.
Sorry.
I say things gives me the warm and fuzzies all the time, so I appreciate this.
You're good.
No problem.
So what about
I would
rock?
also like to put a rock in here.
Yeah, what would happen if we put a rock in there?
Nothing
It might
happens.
glow a little bit. Nothing.
Well, I'm
Would
curious.
this clear?
What
Would
if
this cure
we put-
lycanthropy though?
Maybe you
But
should
no.
join us and find out.
I don't have lycanthropy.
do any of us have lycanthropy right now? And are
Yes,
we,
you do, but
wait,
you
Does-
do, but we don't know if you know, and you haven't told any of us. So
would I know if I had it?
No.
Wait, this whatever that's affecting Gorfrak, where every now and then you just get a random
Ooh.
bloody nose.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. You do need to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Who?
Thanks, Faith.
Gorfrak.
Unkind.
Would have happened eventually. Just
unkind.
get done now.
More to the
Nothing
point.
happens.
Will she be okay if she
Fine.
walks in the circle?
I don't know.
Can
we
we
need to
try it?
replenish Slime's magic too.
I need to pause. So I'm not cured of whatever's causing my nosebleeds?
No.
Bro, he rolled a 22. I'm pissed.
Well, no, it's just saving against the effects of whatever it is. But the
Oh.
circle didn't cure it. That is not kind.
Maybe you need to draw a bigger one.
Dad, get your head out of your ass. They don't draw them.
I'm not here for the druid slander right now. So live laugh love somewhere else. So did this also fix anything with my memory? Do I have any
Did
memories flooding back? Oh wow, that's discomforting.
What happens if we put Lionrith in it?
We're supposed to replenish his magic, correct?
Correct.
Do it. Put him in
out
it.
here.
Yeah, that's
At
what
least
we
one of
came.
them.
The ghost is nodding.
Yeah, so let me pull up my notes. That's not the right set of notes. I need this set of notes. So as he enters in, it glows a lot brighter than it had for the rest of you, and it seems to swirl around him and be a little bit more visible before it completely shuts off. And he seemed like a little bit glowy, a little bit more glowy. Maybe you're just seeing things. It's kind of hard to tell. But the way he looks around and interacts with the environment seems a little bit different now.
How do you feel,
Heinrich,
buddy?
do you remember anything?
He looks over at all of you and he goes, I think so.
Okay, well, take some time to work through and absorb it, and let us know if you need to talk about anything.
Yeah. Maybe sometime soon.
I'm gonna
Okay.
hand him a piece of candy.
He completely like switches emotional situations here and is like, "Oh boy, yeah."
What flavor?
What flavor?
I don't know. I'm checking my inventory. I don't remember what I have.
And after that, not too long after, you feel the ground kind of shake a little bit.
Oh, I hate that.
I'll say like 10, 15 minutes later.
Okay, let's do a round of perception checks, possibly.
Right.
For those of you who are deeply invested, he got a peppermint candy.
Thank you.
I am deeply invested.
was
Thank you for
good.
sharing.
Okay, for our 2 perception checks there. It felt as if something more exploded than anything else. That's what I'm going to give.
Underground?
Like, I think both of you are magically inclined. It's as if someone casted a powerful spell nearby and it caused the ground to shake. Like that.
Like,
Was
back
it
in-
Linrith?
like as in deeper into the forest, or as in back in town?
Like, it's hard to tell. Like you don't have the senses to gauge the full-on distance of, yes, the earthquake was 3 miles north of here.
Okay.
Like,
No, I
I'm
get
gonna
that.
cast detect magic and see if that can.
Isn't that only like a 100-foot radius?
other than the typical magical sources, there is nothing unusual. Linrith is a little bit brighter this time.
Are Elabella and Urjar still with us?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna look at Autumn and say, "Did you feel that?"
That was odd. I haven't had anything like that happen before.
Sharing.
I mean, do you have any? I mean, I don't know if this is a stupid druid question. Does she have any connections to the tree? Can she like feel through the tree, see if it's in town?
I can't. I don't have that type of connection.
Hey Sylvia, can you send up your owl friend or your bird friend and
Yes.
see if they can see if there's any smoke or any fire or any
Mhm.
magical hellfire anywhere around?
Yeah, I'll send Sybil. Keep her within. How far can she travel when still maintaining the telepathic bond?
120, I think it is.
I think it's pretty long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send her however
Check
far
the
she
book.
can.
The whole
reach.
point of a familiar is having a scout. So.
Right.
Telepathically, so it's 100 feet for telepathy, but I think beyond that you can just send it wherever. But 100 feet. So you
Okay,
do, like,
well, I'll start with
100
100 feet. Yeah, 100 feet up. See if she can see anything.
Okay. Have a roll perception.
Isn't that Piper's perception since she's still connected to the bird?
This will be the owls,
How do I do that?
or at least for anything relevant, you would need the owl for this.
How do I do that?
I can roll it for you. You need
Okay,
it on your character sheet under extras.
Extra.
Oh.
Real.
Okay, there it is. I found it.
Yeah, if it doesn't go through, then I can.
Okay, I
Cool.
just rolled it. Wow, that was terrible.
Can I help her?
Sure.
I think it came from that direction. Make sure you look at town. Look at Sam
Words?
Sneakin'.
Oh, okay, never mind. The digital die showed a 1, so I was like, no, it was no better, but it was a 16.
Yeah. With that, you get back from Sybil that the town looks different.
That doesn't seem good.
Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. Oh no.
Yeah, something's odd
Sylvia,
about
what do
that
you see?
town now.
The town seems different, like something's affected it.
Autumn, do we need to go check on the town? Do you need our help?
No, I'll stay here to make sure everything is fine, and I'll catch back up.
You'll meet us there, or do we need to come back here?
I'll catch back up with you. Like I said, I'll check around here and make sure everything is okay before I head down. So I might be an hour or two behind.
Okay. We'll be back.
Okay. So you guys
I have
head
a
back to
question.
town?
Well, I have a question. If I summon horses for everybody, will we get there faster?
Oh my gosh. Please say yes.
Bored with this.
So technically, within the rules, it doesn't change anything really.
Okay.
Break the rules, Nathaniel. Break the rules.
If it was a shorter distance, I would say yes, because you can get like a burst of speed from them for a short period of time. But this is like a 7 at like a 4 or 5 hour journey. And to really gain a use out of them, you'd have to be basically galloping constantly for that long.
Which is not good on horses.
And the trail it's not horse
Friendly.
Okay.
sized in different places. So it would, if anything, you would like slow down at certain spots, whatever you want to call it. It wouldn't work out for you.
You say you hate me, Nathaniel. It's okay.
Nah, I'm always
Would've
helping
been
you
much
guys out.
shorter.
Don't worry.
All right, to town. Or to the edge of town, just in case it's time bubble.
It doesn't take you that long. Relatively. You already know the path. You head back, and the town is completely in ruin. It is like gone in terms of like buildings are no longer intact. Most of it's in ruin. The tree is basically destroyed. And nothing left of it really stands other than any stone buildings.
I think we might be cursed people.
I agree.
I mean,
Detect
we did-
magic lasts an hour. What do I see?
All of it has residual destruction magic, not destruction magic. Evocation, but it's destruction magic.
Okay, I figured that's what you meant.
Different universe.
It have breakdown magic.
Can
Why did
I?
I sign up for this with you guys? You definitely are cursed.
I
don't
think your
think
life
we're
was
cursed.
boring before us.
It
I would
was.
like
Hey,
to
we
point out
also
that we
saved
fought-
the king's life, so it can't all be bad.
I did
I would
know
like
that,
to point out that we basically fought a god less than a month ago, so I think people are kind of after us.
Say
for curse.
this wasn't interesting. I said y'all were cursed. There's a difference.
Fair enough.
With that perception, you don't hear any sounds. You only really hear the wind. Nothing seems
Please
alive.
don't say it like that. That's creepy.
And a critical.
So
fail.
let's like sucking on a candy really hard, and you're not really able to perceive too much else.
And line writh.
Yeah, pretty much. They're having a good old time.
They're right next to me. I'm like, gosh, guys, could you not?
So with that investigation, it's hard to tell, honestly. It seems like there was some sort of magical effect that destroyed the town of an extremely large size. You just don't know what. There is no. You do find skeletal remains of different people and things, but there's nothing left.
Can I ask a? I won't metagame with this information. Is this a meteor strike?
Doesn't look like it. It's not like several impact blasts.
Okay.
Can we see Sirius's tower from here? Is it still standing?
It is still standing.
Good.
Man, too bad you lost the cleric who has speak with dead.
We didn't lose the cleric. The cleric made rash and poor decisions.
The cleric lost us.
Can I? Oh no, I don't have my book, so I don't have that spell right now. I was gonna see if I could talk to any animals in the area. There's no people. Like there were no guards at the edge of town. There's just skeletons everywhere.
From what it looks like, there's like metal that was on the ground now, like of armor, things like that.
So does it?
But it's completely damaged and.
Okay, so they were in combat. But then they.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look like the armor was damaged, as in like it is unusable now.
Okay.
Yes.
This might be a very morbid. Go ahead, Avery.
Would insight be of any value to investigate this situation? You're probably going to say no, but I have to ask.
You almost answered your own question if insight is relevant to investigating the situation when you just need to use investigate.
Yeah, okay. I was hoping
we're in the
that you would
town
say
now.
yes.
You're outside of it right now.
I wonder if my 12 was not enough to give us the information we need. If anybody else.
I'm gonna cast Arcane Eye because I can move it around and see if I can glean any other information.
Yeah, go for it.
We really should have given Cirrus our sending stone so we could have talked to him.
Hello.
Because now none of us have message because none of us are clerics.
I know.
I like how Madison keeps being like, yeet, clerics, like she didn't literally unalive herself.
It wasn't on purpose.
She didn't know. Leave the bean alone.
Oh, we got like 5 arcane eyes here. Okay.
I'm sorry, it wasn't rolling.
You're fine. Yeah, so it goes up to 30 feet. You can get an extra distance of basically vision if you'd like.
Okay. Well, I want to. So if I move it closer,
around.
Yeah, basically that's what I.
Okay, it only goes up to 30 feet. Do you roll investigation again?
I feel like we're about to find some rogues in a building that are ready to.
We better get something from this.
Yeah. I think you do have to approach this place a little bit more to get some information. I don't think any too relevant of getting into any danger, as there is literally no wall either. As you peer around through things, you do seem to believe that there is someone within the large stone building, which is the church. There's some sort of movement there. And that's kind of it.
Okay. Well, then we should go in.
Or we should maybe like. Do you still have detect magic up?
Yes.
Can we approach the church and make sure it's not somebody in there casting spells before we just jump in? Because I'd rather not get fireballed as soon as we open the door.
Oh wait, it's only lasts 10 minutes. I don't know why I thought it was an hour, but I can cast it again if I need to.
Yeah.
Or do you want to ritual cast it so it's not a burn spell slot?
I get 3 for free because I have my tome.
Oh, cool.
Because you have a gnome?
No, I have my tome. My heirloom from my family.
Sorry, you just
If
said
you
it so
don't mind.
quiet.
It was definitely a no.
So it's 30 feet
Anyway.
distance. So you would have to approach the building. I assume that's fine. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You head up to it. At this point, we are going to
Initiative.
introduce a character here. As they are peering So cool. You see a group of weird-looking people going toward the stone building.
What do I know of what the fuck just happened here?
You left briefly. Everything was fine. You came back. Nothing remained.
Great.
And you've been looking around for some time.
Do we?
Do I know who's in the church?
You've seen a woman come in and out of it a few times. And they seem to be approaching it.
Do we spot Ku yet? Or the bird person? If we don't know her name yet. We do? Gorfrak grabs her staff and casts Shillelagh, ready to square off with this person who she's probably assuming did this.
And I take the sword off my back because also, first living person we've seen. I'm a smidgen concerned.
Who are you?
Oh shit, do they see me?
You didn't say anything,
Yeah.
so they assumed
Who
it.
was on the top of a building?
No, nearby.
Skulking in the shadows of an alley.
Or used to be.
Are you asking if we can
Just
see you
like
as
her.
in you are meant to be invisible, or you're just shocked that we noticed you?
Like, rogues are hidey stealthy.
I was asking the DM because I was unsure. But I'm gonna roll with it.
Roll with
Okay.
it.
Did I mishear Nathaniel? Do we not see you and I just called you out?
We're rolling with it. It's too late.
Okay.
Roll
You're
with it.
visible. You've been spotted.
Yeah! You can see the 3-foot tall bird thing in the shadows, looking panicked.
Yeah.
Is that creature?
Hey, that thing kind of looks like that little guy that I traded a spoon with that one time. Do you guys remember that before I cursed myself by robbing that orc grave? I traded a spoon with that little cute thing.
I
Oh,
turn around and say,
yeah.
hush. I tell that to hush because we don't know who this person is. Who are you?
And
And did you do this?
I don't think I'm gonna like get really, really quiet, but it's still probably far too loud and be like, I don't think they can talk.
Can you speak?
Sure.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Is this some Kenku shit?
I have the same question, but I don't know if Sylvia asked that as Piper or in character.
I can tell.
Yes. Is this a Kenku type situation?
No.
Okay. We heard the blast from inside the forest and came back. Your turn. Information now.
It looks frightened. You don't have to be so harsh.
Well, there was a goat man who killed me, so I'm a little apprehensive of strangers.
Everyone, shut up. I know exactly what we need to do. Everybody shut up. I'm
Go
gonna
give
reach into my bag and I'm gonna get a strawberry candy and one of my own pieces of gold, and I'm gonna hold each out on one on each hand, and I'm gonna hold them out and I'm gonna go, you can pick whichever you want.
I decide to put my sword away in the meantime as this whole thing is going down, because Sylvia's right. Looks frightened as shit, and I'm trying not to make it worse.
Isn't she also tiny?
Yes,
Yeah.
You're also
it would be like
oh,
beating
yes.
up a child, which normally I don't have a problem with, but not when they look scared.
Again,
Anyways.
a goat man
Just
killed
gonna
me with a single word.
blaze
I
past
don't
that.
care.
Yes, and he was trying to kill us before that, so he was already threatening.
Well, we didn't know that in that moment. We didn't know he
While
was
Ku's
that
deciding
strong.
here, Gorfrak, what were you trying to perceive?
Is anything hearable happening in the church while we're having
Someone's
this?
walking around.
Huh?
Someone's walking around in there.
And is there any other sound?
Nope.
Okay.
And we ask this strange little bird creature, said with love, if they know who's in the church.
Can I move my arcane eye into the church, or does that require like physically opening a door?
Okay, so I do believe I don't think you can go through objects. A solid barrier blocks the eye's movement.
Are there any
Is the church still
Pass through an opening as small as 1 inch, and I doubt a half-destroyed building doesn't have an opening that's smaller than
there
1
you
could
go.
go in.
Okay.
We'll wait on for that. Ku, what is your decision?
Ku will step forward and look at each, and then step around the hands and reach up a little clawed hand to the blue cloak thing that Let wears, and just feel it for a minute and tug on it.
I'm deeply confused. I have no idea what she wants.
I am deeply confused as well.
And I'll reach into a bag at my side and pull out a somewhat similar shawl, but of a lighter blue color, and offer it to trade.
You want my clothes? I don't.
Tug on the cloak again.
Do
I
not strip.
I'm not going to strip. I don't think I'm allowed to trade these. I think if I came back, I think that Tenzin would kill me.
Oh,
I'll hold out the light blue one more insistently.
I'm going to shake my head and hold out the 2 pieces. This is what I'm offering for trade. I am not going to strip in the middle of this wreckage.
Hey,
They'll appreciate that.
Don't you have a cape from that one time in Lux when we went to the haberdasher when we got hats and things?
Do I? Or did I give that up also? Potion, healing, shovel.
If
I
it's
have.
working, I'm going to step around Let, and I'm going to start kind of wandering through the rest of the group, tugging at any cloth that is on them and assessing it.
Let has taken this choice deeply personal,
And
even though it literally has nothing to do with Let.
I will add that Lynrith does have a blue cloak that he occasionally wears, and he does have a bag.
I'm going to offer him the light blue cloth in exchange. Trade?
He looks confused at the time, like he's lost in thought, and then he says, "Oh, no, not right now."
Is Autumn here yet? Has it been an hour?
No, not yet.
Okay.
What was your nature roll, by the way?
I step between Lynrith and Ku and this bird person thing, and I say a little bit more calmly, but still like with an edge of caution. Who are you? What are you doing here? What is going on? Did you see what happened?
Cool.
Okay, you're
Is
Ku.
common not your first language?
Well, she's speaking.
I look up at them. I kind of, and I'm gonna use class feature really quick. DM, let me.
Okay, I know what you're thinking of.
Didn't need
All right, 3 creatures and a D8.
Got it.
Okay. So I would like to choose the tall elf and the blue lady and the one in blue, whose cloak is very, very attractive.
Oh, that was horrifying.
Okay.
And all various have these like light blue eyes, and this one gets like a almost iridescent sheen across hers as she looks up and makes eye contact with each of you, and there's a voice that speaks in your head and says, "I'm confused. Common is not my first tongue, but speaking through minds is easier.
May
Can we
I?
reply? How does this work?
Led is immediately upset. Immediately, and like scratching at their ears and trying to understand how the heck they just heard this little like bird thing without the bird moving her lips or beak.
What language would be easier for you?
Yeah.
This one.
I don't think. How long does this last for?
It depends. A few hours.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
2 hours. That's what the D8's for.
Kai is over here debating finding the nearest insane asylum because you're all just staring at each other creepy, and I'm very.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at Sylvia and I'm gonna say in Elvish, we don't have time for this. She seems to not be a threat. We need to go figure out who's still alive in the town.
You should not go into that big stone building.
Has my
So
arcane
you-
eye not emerged in there yet?
Yeah, I think we'll kind of like wrap up a lot of that there in this question.
Okay.
Moving forward, is that there's just a woman in there, like nice dress, just kind of walking around casually. At some point it's your conversation, and she just kind of sitting there, kind of listening a little bit.
What do you mean we shouldn't go in?
There's someone there.
So? I just see that it's a woman.
Well, the last time I trusted a random woman, we got this bitch following us, so I don't know. She might be right.
And the time before that, we almost got fed to the void in the Nightwood Forest. So, girl equal bad.
Girl equal bad.
I really don't understand why you're so against me, but
You're
Think
just
real hard, you'll
gross.
figure it
That's
out.
the only thing I can tell you.
A goat man tried to kill me, and a prince boy tried to kill us.
Anyways,
Back to what's
I
going
need to-
on.
I'm confused.
Do you know who's in the building?
so you ask that, and the door opens.
I don't like that.
I freaking
And-
hate this.
Everyone sees this relatively young-looking woman, brown hair.
Is it the theater
And-
lady?
no, the theater lady had red hair, I believe.
Correct. And she says, it's really interesting how, when everything is kind of gone here, that at least this still remains. It's a solid stone structure. It's dedicated to, the goddess of nature, specifically of Saint. Did you know that she had a real connection and bond here with Gaia? It would say a long beneficial relationship between the two. Of course, not all things last, and they eventually falls away, and it's what it is now. It's really sad to, well, maybe not sad to see, but it is bound to happen. So, and she looks at all of you and says, I've been very interested in something that you carry now with you. It was hidden from me from some time, but now it has been at least revealed.
I'm not vibing with
And-
this.
It's either Leinrith or the aspect.
I'm not vibing with this.
She does glance over to Lionrith, and they both make eye contact, and then he backs away a little bit behind Gorfrak and says, hi, Mom. And we're going to roll for initiative. And
I
then
don't want to fight Valdora right now.
we're going to, and afterwards, it will be done for today.
My God.
I hope to God
as-
we're actually playing her.
Hang on here before we do that here. I'll move this over.
Are we
to the
actually
bottom.
fighting her? It's just an order of speaking to her. Oh God! It says Arena A, and there's constructs or something. What the heck?
I'm sorry.
That's a lot of goons.
I can't.
Daniel, why are you trying to end this campaign right now?
Yeah, hey, Nathaniel, the screener account can't see anything.
Yeah, well, we're gonna just end it for today. So we're
10-4,
just getting the
boss.
rolls and so forth. So
Okay.
Sounds like Nathaniel's trying to end all of us today.
Honestly.
I just made this character. You can't kill it already.
well, you had the other direction.
Oh, I can't select my token.
Oh, I need to give it to you, don't I?
I didn't do my
Yes.
div rolls yet today. I just remembered.
You should put Elabella and Urjar on the map too, because I'm hoping they're going to help us.
Do me a favor and roll for me.
You'll find out next time what they will do.
We don't know that this is Valdara.
He just said we don't know, but
We don't know it's his mom. We don't know who his mom is.
and Koo definitely doesn't know
Your
it.
permission. There we go.
But we
It
know
was
it's
their
got to
boss.
be some celestial being if he came from the celestial plane, or a saint, something.
This is
It's got to
giving
be something.
this is giving Percy Jackson somebody needs to claim their demigod.
Do we need to say goodbye to our viewers?
Yeah. At this point, thank you all for attending today, and we'll see if they make it out of the undead assault that will soon take place. So goodbye,
This
everyone.
edition of Will They Die or
Bye.
Survive?
Of course, and we're gonna